So we will start where we have left last time, right? Then we are basically discussing, in fact, just to sum up what we have learned in the first week, the students who joined today, and we discuss, of course, the subject, what is the uh, my area I'm going to cover between next couple of weeks, right? I discuss about corporate strategic planning and expansion strategies, and I have discussed why we need to why we need to study the strategic plan, right? And I'll explain to you about the the top management is a board of directors need to approve your strategy plan, right? That show how important your uh, strategy plan is. And then we discuss about the ERM, enterprise risk management. Risk management also has to be falling in line with your strategy plan. And I also told you the these are the important three plans any organization you need to develop. But now I'll tell you of something, another one I will touch after that. Now, what is the new plan? Central bank. Can anybody tell me what is the new plan that central bank recently requested all the banks to do? Can anybody tell me what is the new plan? Now we learn about strategy plan. I told you succession plan and BCP plan. Now these are the three plans I told you is a compulsory, But from 2022 onwards, there is another bank also. Central bank want to develop by banks. Can anybody have an idea about how you call that plan? It's also compulsory, like strategic plan. Can anybody is aware about that? Definitely, there may be a question on that, right? On that, because that's a new plan. Every bank need to prepare. Have idea? Have anybody have an idea? No, right? That is what you call recovery plan. That is a new plan we call recovery plan. I will explain to you later on. Once I explain to you about the BCP, I will explain to you about the recovery plan. In fact, that is to be implemented from 2022 June onwards, right? So there are two types. The banks who are having 1 trillion above, they need to immediately start. The banks, the asset base less than 1 trillion, they need to start from 2020 June onwards, right? So what are the constitutes of that? Actually, what is that CRP plan? For just for brief introduction, it is basically the plan. It's a sort of all form of recovery options, right? If a bank face for sort of a market-wide stresses, or your own internal stresses, organizations face those stresses. As a result of that, liquidity, capital, and other all the aspects can get impacted, right? In order to prevent that, now the central bank is telling all the banks need to prepare a sort of a recovery plan, right? Full of actions. So options of recovery. What are the actions you are going to take for that? So I will touch on that. What are the main components and all things next week, right? So I forget to tell you last week, right? That's what I told you. Remember to tell me it's a new thing as well as your exam is concerned, right? Then we discuss after the all these things, and we discuss what is strategy planning process, and then we talk what is strategy planning is intent to achieve. So all managers has placed three questions I explained to you. That is, where are we now, where you want to be, and how to be there. Then we discuss what is strategy planning definition, and then we discuss the four aspects of strategic management, and that is interdisciplinary, internal, external, and future direction. So we discuss in detail, and then we discuss with the help of the last discussion what are the benefits of strategic planning, and then what are the some criticisms or some drawbacks in strategic planning. And also we briefly discuss what is the strategic planning content, or what is the process of strategic planning. And then we discuss how the human resources can be contributing to your corporate strategic planning or corporate planning, or then how budget will facilitate uh, the corporate planning. And then we discuss why we need to constantly review the strategic planning. That also we discuss, and that's a brief introduction for strategic planning. And then we move into the discuss the first steps, or first steps involving in strategic planning process. Where are we now? What is my organization present situation? And for that we need a analysis, we call strategic analysis. Now, why we need to analyze the strategic position? Because if you want to go somewhere else, first you know where are you standing for. So therefore we need to study what is your organization present. For that we discuss macro, micro, internal environment, and then why it is important. Then for analyze that, we started with the content called internal audit, where you try to find it out what are your organizational uh, present positions in terms of uh, your basically your functional areas. And then we discuss about the value chain analysis and resource based analysis we discuss. And apart from that, then we discuss some techniques we use to do that. What are that? We call product life cycle, and we explain what is product life cycle and why it is important. And then we discuss another analytical tool, what you call the BCG, constant consultancy group technique, where these cows and all buggers are there, right? So that is what we have stopped last time. These are what you call product portfolio analytical technique. Now these two techniques, along with what I explained to you about the resource base and the resource base, and then value chain analysis are the two, and functional analysis are the two other three techniques we use to analyze the organization present situation. Okay, so that is what we have discussed uh, uh, up to yesterday, up to last Saturday. Right, now let me look at it another important area. So far no questions asked about this, but can't say, because these are in your syllabus. Examiner has a liberty to ask any question which only I have last time I have touched, but I will explain to you, because these are important. Why I am telling you why this is important? Up to now no question asked, right? Okay, now what we are doing now? We are doing where are we now? In order to find it out your present position, we need to do some tech analytical analysis. So therefore we need to use some techniques how to analyze your present position about the organization. For that only we discuss, I explained to you BCG, PLC to portfolio analysis, and we did an internal analysis. Three techniques. One is functional analysis. Second one we discuss about Michael Porter value chain analysis, and the third one we explained to you about the resource based analysis. Another type of analytics we need, we call them as a stakeholders. Now, who are stakeholders? Stakeholders are basically the people or group of people who are interested about your organization, right? They can influence your organization. Now, if you, because we need to understand now, if you really look at it, who are your type of stakeholders? the people who are interested about your organization, all the people from customers, suppliers, creditors, the community, government, the local authority, environmental, future generation, shareholders, employees, management, all are we call stakeholders, right? The different level of power and attention, or what you call power and interest about your organization, right? So different people are having a different type of power and interest about your organization, these stakeholders. Now in that sense we need to find it out if there is a conflict between stakeholders. Now how to identify who play an important impact for bank, we need to understand, right? Accordingly we need to deal with them, right? So now this is an important thing, right? So stakeholders, there are enough stakeholders. Now in your bank, who are the most key people, who is having more power, who is having more interest, we need to understand. Because why it is important, if there is any conflict situation, we need to understand who must give them a priority. Now say for an example, I will tell you one thing. Now say your employees. Now your employees are well organized. Usually the bank employees are very well unionized. Unionized, right? That's not it, right? So when you're going to do something for them, we have to be careful. Why? Because they have a very much power. They can go for strike, work to rule, and things like, especially the bank, like doctors. So we have to be very careful to handle these stakeholders, right? So there is a technique developed by one gentleman called Mendelos. Mendelos is a name who discovers this matrix. It's called Mendelos power interest matrix. Now you can see that diagram. Now he has identified this is a power interest matrix. Now you look at it, level of interest from low to high, one extreme, and power low to high, right? Those are the two x and y variables. Now if you really look at accordingly, it's a quadrant. If you want a quadrant, is a four, like we have learned similar to one quadrant. What is that? We have already learned. We have learned BCG quadrant, right? That is, we took market share and market growth. Likewise, in power interest matrix, we took level of interest of stakeholders, power of stakeholders. Based on their capabilities, the power and the interest, the stakeholders can be put into four quadrants, right? Now if you really look at it, uh, take first one, B, key inform, key players, key satisfy and minimal effect. Now according to your understanding, who are the main, according to you, what type of stakeholders become very important for your bank? Can anybody tell me who are the main people, main stakeholders are very important for your bank? Who are they under these four quadrants? Can anybody tell me, Buddha? Huh? Come
B
on.
key, B key
D.
players.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Very good. Key players, right? Because they have power and they have higher interest also, right? And then keep informed. Keep informed, so they may not have much power, but they have a high interest, right? So what happen if you can't, if you are not handle them properly, they may join with D, people who have it high power, right? So that is why then another group comes to the key player or key satisfied, right? So if they have a high, if you are not informed what is happening in the bank, then there are some people comes under keep satisfied, right? Now, keep satisfied group of stakeholders are their interest is less, but they have a power, but they don't worry about much, right? So they satisfy as far as what they're getting. But then there are some group uh, in the organization, in the bank, so they don't have a much power and they don't have a power, so we may not necessary to more concentration of there, right? Okay, right. Now, so having understood that, so you may learn what are the how your stakeholders are putting to these different contracts. Clear? Now you idea. So suppose major of your key players, most of your customers are come to stakeholders are come to key player category. So you have to be very careful, right? Accordingly, you have to take some actions to satisfy them, right? That is what we call minimal effect. I explained to you, right? They are very much open to influence, right? Keep informed, have a high level of interest in the strategy, but lack of sufficient power to influence it, right? Then keep satisfy me. We now these things are we are discussing with when you're introducing a strategy, how these stakeholders look at it, your organizational business strategy. Now these key players are the people, maybe your board of directors, may your sometimes may your investors, shareholders. They are very key players. So they are worried about your profit because they have invested a lot of money. Okay, now I just don't worry about this. I thought of giving you a small case study. Don't worry much. I will explain to you to see whether you understood this concept. Right now, I'll give you some case just for you to understand, to further clarifications of you understood this concept. But don't write to anything. Just listen to me. Now, suppose a company. Now, ABC is a forestry business which leases several large woodlands from the central government of countries. And I put Sri Lanka here, will you? Right? So, ABC is a business which basically took uh, some government lands, woodlands, right, for cutting and things like that. And ABC company is currently employs around 2,000 members of the staff across the country. Right? Now, you saw Sri Lanka, so they have taken some leasing or whatever, some large woodlands of Sri Lankan government lands, and they are doing some woodland business. Now, ABC supplies over 300 small businesses with wood across countries. Now, ABCs are supplying their output for 300 small businesses, not a very big 300 small businesses of Sri Lanka. Now, however, the recently its profitability has been poor and has been struggled to identify the demand. Right? Okay. Right? Okay. Pay any dividends also. They have a problem with profitability. Therefore, they are not in a position to pay their dividends. Okay. Now, your company is having some problem. What sort of business they are doing? Now you have an idea, right? Okay. Next one, if you really look at it, next, who are the stakeholders? Now, stakeholders in this business has agreed the company. This has arranged the company's angered the three stakeholders. Right now, the bad situations about the profitability, they are not getting any dividends, so they have a very angry about the businesses is going on. Now, so remember, their stakeholders are the having the shareholders of 20% of share capital. That means a huge amount they are having. The remainder is owned by the public, right? Other shares are owned by the public with no one investor owned more than 1% of the total share capital. That means, so all other investors having less capital, it is diluted among many people. The three main shareholders have asked the board of directors of the company ABC to consider making 200 employees redundant. අස්ක රන්නින් ගොත් 200ක්. දැන් මේ ප්‍රොෆිට් එල්ලෙන්නේ නැත්නම් අපිට ඩිවිඩන්ඩ්ස් එන්නේ නැත්නම් මිනිස්සු 200ක් අයින් කරන්න. හැබැයි ABC company එකේ employeesලා හරි අර union වෙලා නැහැ. They are work independently, separately, right? This is the situation of the organization, right? Now, question is, state and explain the appropriate strategy from Mendelos matrix for each of the following stakeholders. ABC customers, major shareholders, right? Employees and government of country is it. Now, these are the four type of stakeholders. Understood? ABC customers, major shareholders, employees, government of country is it. They have identified these are the stakeholders are in that company. Now, according to your understanding, right? Now, understood no concept? Who are the key players out of this? Who are the key players? Come on. Who are the key players? I just want to explain, right? I mean, don't worry about. I don't think there won't be a questions are coming, but just to give you better understanding only, and just put it right. Okay, who are the key players in this out of this ABCD? Now tell me, who are the key players?
Shareholders.
Shareholders, very good. They are the key players because why? They are having a 20% or 60%. No, I think the major shareholders, because they are the people asking to, okay, we want dividends, we don't have profits. Good, right? Now you have identified where you want to put. Then who? Okay, then comes we'll look at it. The who are the what category the employees are coming? What category the employees are coming? You think? They have given you a hint. What category the employees are coming?
Minimum effort.
Minimum. Now, what is the issue? Now, what is the issue here?
Employees are not unionized.
Yeah. So then but you need to keep info, right? Employees are usually comes and keep info because they don't have much power. Why they have not power? Because they are not heavily unionized, right? But they are at a risk. But they keep informed. Management need to inform why we have get rid of 200 people. Otherwise, you also losing job. But they don't have a power to protect that. Why? Because they are not highly unionized and they are across the country, right? Okay. Then, who are the what you call the major now ABC customers? Where they comes? ABC customers. What
minimal effort?
Minimum effort. Because why? They don't have much impact on that. No, they are not worried about the organization, right? So, I mean, they don't have a much impact on that. Very good. Right, very good. Then, of course, D comes the government country set because government keep satisfied, you need to power of so government also not much involved, so therefore we can say keep satisfied the government because government don't want to get the 200 people out, but you need to handle them. We have to inform, we have to satisfy them, otherwise we can't run the business and things like that. Now, why I put basically this question just to understand to what extent you pay, and when you're preparing your strategy, you need to understand who are the different people, stakeholders, right? Just for, in fact, which I quoted you, of course, is honestly, I have quoted this one basically from your this one I quoted from the SIMA final year, some paper, right? SIMA final year strategy planning, right? I have just took some example on that, right? Okay. Now, having now understood the okay, right. Next analysis. Now we are going for a SWOT analysis. Sometimes in the modern contemporary management, we are not now talking about SWOT analysis, right? Remember, now these are new things. Okay, we still be using SWOT analysis, but now in the modern context, we have not used the SWOT analysis. We are using a separate name for that. Can anybody tell me how you call that SWOT analysis in a modern way? Modern technical word is what? SWOT analysis. Are you aware of that? No? Right, doesn't matter. So, like individual, you are appraising, right? So, individual employees, you are appraising, no? So, to see whether what are you good, what are you bad, right? What are you need to improve, and things like that. That's appraisal, employee appraisal. Likewise, as an organization, now I think you have already learned. Uh, you have already learned corporate governance, so right now, do you think the board of directors need to appraise themselves, somebody or themselves? Are you agree with that statement? Yes or no? Corporate management, especially the board of directors, need to be appraised by themselves or get the support from third party to do that. Are you agree on that statement? Yes or no? Come on, come on. So I'm just telling you, it's not my subject. Corporate, according to the corporate governors, the board of directors need to be appraised by themselves, at least for year. Are you agree with this statement?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then how to explain why?
Because their individual performance will affect the organization. So
Organization. Good. In fact, that is the question on last year. Right? So okay, I just put forward for you to, I think doctor has definitely touched on that. Right. Now, likewise, SWOT analysis mean in today's context we call a corporate appraisal. Right? SWOT analysis we are using to appraise the corporate. So today's context, we're talking about the corporate analysis. That is why if my exam will ask you what is corporate analysis, my goodness, you if you don't know, finish. So that's what I want to say. Corporate appraisal means some sort of a SWOT analysis, right? Corporate level, right? That will be organization, right? Now SWOT analysis. Now, if the questions comes like this, remember, if you the word comes, and every time I'm telling you, not only my subject or any other subject, the moment a letter comes, right, you need to explain what this SWOT stand for. That acronym, no, so you need to explain first before you write any damn thing. You need to say what is strength, what is stand. Strength mean S mean strength, W mean weaknesses, O mean opportunities, T mean threats, right? So here what we are going to look at it through the SWOT analysis, you're going to look at it the internal and external factors. What are the internal factors? Your strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths and weaknesses. What are your external factors which impacted you? Opportunities and threats. Right? To what extent You have make use of your strengths to take the opportunities available in the outside. To what extent you use your strengths, right, to convert your threats to opportunities. That is why we need to do a corporate appraisal, right? Honestly, if you really look at the corporate appraisal of a SWOT analysis, you can compare SWOT analysis with another technique in your financial statement. What is that? You can compare easily SWOT analysis with another uh, analytical tool in your financial statement. What is that? Come on, come on. If the examiner asks you questions like that, I will tell you. Right now, one area, one exam, one question is definitely comparison. Internal audit versus external audit, uh, then stress testing and compliance testing, integration, forward integration, backward integration, horizontal, like that, right? They ask you BCP, business continuity plan versus contingency liability plan, like that. Now, the way the examiners can ask, the SWOT and the pistol. Likewise, there will be a question: succession planning versus uh, strategic planning. There are a lot of questions examiner asks up to now. Likewise, SWOT analysis you can compare with another something in your financial statement. What is SWOT? SWOT is basically telling you this is the today's given situation. SWOT is a situational analytical thing. This is my present strengths. This is my present weaknesses. These are the opportunities presently available in the market and that we are going to face. So how can you compare this with another one in the financial statement? What is the statement you can compare? හරිද ඔයා මේ ඔයා යන්නකො කණ්ණාඩියක් ඉස්සරහ පිට. ඔයා ගිහලා කණ්ණාඩියක් ඉස්සරහ පිට ගිහලා බලනකොට මොකද්ද පේන්නේ? ඔයාවමනේ පේන්නේ. So what is that? That is your present situation. මගේ strengths මොකද? ලස්සනයි. Weaknesses අපෝ හැම රැලි වෙලා. Opportunities තව මම පොඩ්ඩක් මම තාම වයස නැති වුණාට මට පුළුවන් modify වෙන්න. Threats මම අවුවේ වැඩ කරනවා මම හරියට කළු වෙනවා මාංශිලා වැඩ කරනවා. So you identify yourself. Likewise, what is the financial statement you can compare with SWOT? Come on.
Balance sheet.
Simple. Balance sheet. So what is balance sheet mean? It is at any given time your balance position. This is my current assets. This is my current liabilities, right? So SWOT analysis. Now examiner will ask from you, suppose compare and contrast SWOT analysis and balance sheet. Can you? Can. Right? You have to be ready because last time the examiner asked you two different things to compare. I can remember last time they asked BCP, so business continuity plan, versus what? Emergency CP, no? Contingent liquidity management plan, CP, right? I think you have learned. Now, how can you compare these two? Likewise, SWOT versus. So, SWOT analysis will talk about entire organization, where the balance sheet will talk about the given position, the financial position, right? Okay, clear. So now you try to write something like that. That is the creativity come for exam, right? Okay, now coming back again to the SWOT analysis, and it will tell you to find it out what the management team is identify your weaknesses, your external weaknesses, and things like that. And SWOT analysis, therefore, we may use for strategy planning process to identify what are our strengths, what are your weaknesses, and to do accordingly, right? So the strengths mean what are the things you good at, Basically, when you're compared with your competitor, your financial position, your brand image, your branch network, your whatever you make it a strength, your IT capabilities. What are your weaknesses? Somebody say, so we are just came to the banking field. Maybe we have just only 10 years old, maybe 25 years old. We have an aging population. We don't have a much qualified, competent staff. All old. We don't have a much network. Something like we don't have a financial strength like that. Opportunities made which are available in the market. Now, what are the opportunities available at now for bank? Can anybody tell me what are the opportunities available for banks now as at today? Come on, quickly. So these are the thinking. I want to develop your thinking. What are the opportunities prevailing in the market? Now people are talking about always threat. Yes, now threats for LC. Now they put some condition, and we are issuing with foreign currency issues, and we are issuing with margin, high 100% margin for LC. So we are losing LC businesses. The income is coming down. Yes. So what are the opportunities there for bank? Can anybody tell me? Think quickly, right? What are the opportunities available? Now you was now asked to
Digital,
prepare huh?
digital banking products.
Yeah. So how we address the customer in a digital manner? So that's a one opportunity, right? And this is the remember, and this is the good time for banks to get in with customers, because now why customers had a bad food. අපේ තියෙනවනේ අර මනුස්සකම කියන එකක් තියෙනවනේ right අපි අර අපිට දුකේදී පිහිට රෝග පස්සේ අපි බේර ගන්නවා. Then if customers are look at it, oh, what you are going to offer me when I am at a bad seat, right? So you asking me, give me your loan, and they push you to try to get them all the things out from where actually this is the situation where beyond the customer's issue. So therefore, bank support them, and then bank the customer will remember you when the customer the situations come to the good customer think, "Ade, මූ මාව කොච්චර මට නැති වෙලාවේ මාව ආරක්ෂා කළා මාව බලාගත්තා I never leave this bank." එහෙම නැතුව මේ වෙලාවේ බස් රාත්තවල ඔක්කොම ගන්න එක මොකද වෙන්නේ? අනේ මූ මට දුන්නානේ දෙන්න. The customer become good, so he immediately change your bank. Right now you see how what is the present situation when you're going to develop your bank. What are the areas with your preparation of your strategy? What are the areas you need to look at it? That is why SWOT analysis. Suppose if you are going to develop, okay, so then your strategy is more focused on these areas. How can you expedite your IT or digitalization process as a strategy, which give you higher priorities, something like that. I think you understood what is SWOT analysis is all about, right? So therefore, and as I most of the time the examiner asks you what are the advantages and disadvantages. Now you see at one of the advantages is SWOT analysis is very simple, easy to prepare, easily anybody can understand, very, and also cost effective, right? And the simply nature, easy to understand, things like that. Okay, so what are the difficulties? So the difficulty is also remember too simple also disadvantage, right? And also another important thing. So through the SWOT analysis, we difficult to understand priorities sometimes. So for that we need to do a further analysis. SWOT analysis will tell you the problem, right? Some SWOT analysis tell you some, suppose it's a threat or something, some problem. These are the threat. So then we need to do a further studies or further research why this problem happened. We need to deep into further inquiry on that. So that is one of the disadvantages. SWOT analysis tell you the symptom. Now say for example, your temperature has gone up. That is a SWOT analysis technique. Temperature has gone up. So then you need to find out why temperature has gone up. For that, you need to do a further analysis. Clear? Right. Okay. I think you will learn about the SWOT analysis. Right. Now, up to now, what we have learned, we discuss about where are we now. In order to find it out where are we now, we will do internal environmental analysis and external environmental analysis. Now, up to now, what we have done? Internal analysis. For that, what are the techniques we use? What are the techniques we use up to now? Can you come up with me? Okay, first one, for your portfolio analysis. For that, we use two techniques. What is that? PLC and BCG. Right? So then we learn other three techniques for our resources ability. So that is resource audit. Then we discuss about my value chain. How can I value added? What is the problem of value addition? Where I am going stuck? That is a Porter's value chain analysis. Third one, whether my functions like marketing, like finance, like HR are they're really working. I don't have enough people. Those are called functional analysis. Finding out where my what divisions are weak, whether my marketing is bad, whether my operation is not good, whether my financial are not properly managed the finance, right? So having understand all the weak area, you try to identify how to rectify, right? These are the internal analytical techniques. I think you are understanding. Suppose if the examiner asks from you like this, explain the techniques, name 503 techniques you may use to analyze your internal environment. I think you know. Right. Okay. Now we are moving to the second part of internal, the present situation, analyzing your where are you now. That is external audits. Right now, external audits is basically is not cannot control by yourself. Right? Who are the players in the externally? Your business environment factors. We call them as your competitors, your pestle factors. Right? Okay, now we are going to discuss about some techniques where you can use for your external analysis. Still, you are doing your present bank analysis, right? Where are you? Right. Most commonly techniques you use pestle. Now, like earlier, remember the moment comes the acronym like this, you need to explain what is pestle stand for. Right? You need to explain what is pestle stand for. What is pestle? P mean political, S mean economical, environmental or political economic, S mean social cultural, T mean technological, E mean environmental factors, L mean analysis. Now, E play an important role because today people are talking about green financing, sustainable financing, sustainable investing, like that. So therefore, E play an important role. Okay. So one of the tools that can be used to screen the environmental factors that an organizations operate is called pestle factors. Now, the important thing here, those are we call macroeconomic forces, where you cannot control. Then what you need to do? So, if you can't control, you need to live with this. Using your internal factors, strengths, you may use for address this macro economic factors, right? Macro economic factors, right? Now, now remember the outcome of a pestle analysis is can be used as a SWOT analysis, right? SWOT views opportunities and threats from textual analysis. Let me now briefly touch all these things. I think these things I don't want to go in detail. Okay, first we look at the political factors, will you? Now, what is political factors? Environmental factors, tax policies. Now, what do you think about this budget tax? Now, what will going to increase? The definitely your bank tax, corporate tax going to increase, right? You need to explain. They may put some uh, taxes to deposits like earlier, debit tax, like that. Okay, all factors about the political issues, right? The political stability and how these factors will improve the banking, right? Then you look at the economic factors. What are the main economic factors are in a country? Inflation, exchange rate, employment, and growth. So those are the 3 or 4 economic factors. Okay, I'll ask from your simple thing for you to understand. I think you know what is the economic risk faced by, what is the name of the type of the economic risk faced by a saving deposit customer? Simple. What is the type of economic risk faced by a saving deposit customer? Come on. Any guesses? What is the type of economic risk faced by your saving deposit customer? Come on. What is the risk? Come on, come on.
Interest rate.
Right. Okay, but rather than interest rate, what is the risk?
Liquidity risk.
Not that also. What is the look at it from the savings customer's point of view? We are talking about 2 things: nominal and real. Okay, some girl told about interest rate, yes, but rather than that, what is the saving deposit customer is facing?
Inflation.
Inflation rate. Because no point, because suppose we are getting 4% for deposit interest rate, where the inflation is 6%. He's losing his monetary value, no? Clear? So that is the question came. I think one of your paper. I can't remember the paper. What question came on that? What is lot of people have put liquid risk? Yes, yeah. Customers are worried about the bank's liquid risk because the customers are not in the position to get the money if the bank is collapsed or bank is not in the good financial situation. But rather than that, under this financial customer, he is worried about his economic risk. Okay, good, good. So I just want to put you into a look, understand in a different way. So therefore, nobody's come to bank. At no point, they go for other alternatives. Share market, right? The interest has come down, right? Okay, and the inflation is going up. Okay, not the monetary value, right? So you can understand the impact of economy factors for that. The country is not doing well, not growing well. People don't have money. You are deposit. You don't have a disposable income. So therefore, what happened? No money to deposits, no money to purchase. What happened if you no purchases? The business are not taking place. If the business are not taking place, the payment method is coming down. So it all impacted your businesses. Then you look at the social aspect. right? Now, good area these days. Now, what is the social impact? Inflation is going out, richer become richer, right? Poor become poor, so income distribution. Then again, the social factor, again, some of the demographic factors, population factors, children's factors, right? Education gets stuck. Now, online businesses are emerging, right? So, online businesses are emerging. Education or online emerging. How many now you can understand BJoy, BJO, BJoy? India cricket team is sponsored by education company. So imagine how much of earned money they are getting. That is social because it's a social lockdown. So companies, opportunities bank, who are having more access to digitalization. You look at it, what is the social factors? Now, if I put something else, how these washing machine came into power, how this microwave came into the business because of your social nature. Because you are working, I think a lot of girls are working now in the banks than the boys. So you are at the office, and then you have no time to cook, and then you have no time to wash your clothes. You use washing machine. You cook one day and put everything to the fridge and put into the microwaves and take the items one by one like a fresh cook. Husband also happy, you also happy. So that's the social factors, right? Okay, so some of the changes factors in the social, so it will contributing to your businesses, right? So you need to look at it. And the next one, the technological factor. As you're well aware, who are the heavy users of technology? The banks. IT is heavily used by the banks. Next is mobile companies, but banks are heavy users of technology. Now imagine digital banking, online banking. We talk about today fintechs, and we talk about open banking, ATI. Now Sampath is saying web VPay or something. See how the technology has done it. Changes your businesses. Suppose your organization not understand and not involving the technological development into your system, you're out from the businesses. Right? Okay. So what are the other things? As I explained to you, PESTEL, PEST, technological E, the environmental factors. I told you about the green financing. In the world today, what is the bond market in the world? Can anybody tell me what is the bond market? Huh? Bond or debentures? What is the total bond market in the world? Any guesses? Yeah, it's around 100 trillion, right? It's around 100 trillion. Now, what is the bond recently pay a more attention by the lot of organization? We call green bond, right? What is green bond? Now, these bonds are not harm any damage to the environment. Now, people tend to buy all these bonds. They ensure that there's no. What is the bond market today? It's around 1 trillion, right? Against 1,100 trillion. So it's a huge market. Now this bond market, green market is coming up. The people are talking about green financing. When you're evaluating your credit process, they introduce a lot of activities to the green financing. They incorporate your credit evaluation, some green audits, so green appraisal as a scorecard like that, right? A lot of activities or a lot of factors creep into the green area. So therefore, green financing play an important role. Now, banks also attend to that. Having a solar powers in your branch, green banking, you use paperless thing, like that. So individual banks also come up with energy saving, like solar power, reducing the paper based things, right? Like, okay, so that is environmental factors. Then legal factors, you see, new rules and regulations are going to come. But so as the Banking Act, we are supposed to, the central bank, after couple of years, 3-4 years, 2-3 years, are developed with lot of efforts, change the Banking Act 30 of 1988, right? But unfortunately, that was this year. It was not considered due to various reasons. So, new Banking Act not came into the power. That new Banking Act, remember, provide more independence to the central bank. More independence. Government cannot interfere, right? That once you incorporate that, they have a more power. That may be the reason, I don't know. But anyhow, new Banking Act not operational at the moment. It is not, how can you put it? After spending a lot of time. So, okay, forget about that. So, new legal areas can come, right? New legal areas can come. Of course, new legal factors may take into account, right? So these factors are, we call them as beyond my normal situation. So therefore, you cannot compare, you cannot ignore the pestle analysis. Okay, now I'll give you a small question. Now, try to do it, right? Next week we try to look the answer. Okay, one, you can write comparison, sort and pester. Sort and pester. Okay, right. So next week we will do, try to do, because I told you one question is coming in your exam, differences, right? Okay, what is the differences? You're going to look at it. Compare sort analysis and a pestle analysis. Please write, right? Now, I want to tell you a small thing. I also can give the answer. That is not the way. If you try to answer the question, you don't want to study again. Because you yourself try to find out information. Now, what we have learned up to now, what is your question? I gave you sort analysis versus pestle analysis. Try to understand the difference between these two, right? So, try to do next week. When I give you, when I discuss the answer, you see where you want to put, improve your points, right? Okay, so what is the question I gave you? What is the difference between sort analysis versus pestle analysis? Okay, so I will leave it for tomorrow, next Saturday. So please remember me to talk on that matter, right? Okay. Then another techniques we are going to use it to identify the Michael Porter's 5 forces. Right, now we have learned Michael Porter earlier also. Where? Michael Porter's value chain analysis. Mind you, this is the only guy still living. Michael Porter is still living, right? Right, he is a guy who is now old, but he is still living. Now, what Michael Porter's try to understand 5 forces examine an organization's industry. Any industry you can analyze by using the 5 forces developed by who? The Michael Porter. Now let's look at it. What are these 5 forces? Right? These 5 forces are, we call them as threat of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers, rivalry among the existing firms, bargaining power of suppliers, and threat of substitute. These are 5 forces. What Michael Porter is the guy who's there in the left hand side. So he said, right, any organization, any industry can be identified on these 5 points. Right? Okay, now what I'm going to explain to you, we are going to explain to you these 5 forces. Right? Any industry. Now we are in the banking industry. So we'll use the banking industry, how these forces are impact your bank. Right? And just because an industry is large or growing, high profits do not necessarily follow. The 5 forces are determined the profit potential for the industry as well as your individual organization. So therefore, it is very useful to understand, right, your bank position in terms of other various factors. That is why I took you this Michael Porter's under external analysis your present position. Clear? Right. Now let me try to explain what is industry rivalry. Right? So that is the middle point of one Michael Porter forces. A rivalry among existing firms. Right? Okay, then I will ask from you, who are the players in the market? How many banks in Sri Lanka? Can anybody tell me? How many banks in Sri Lanka? Now, industry rivalry means how many close competitors exist?
23 licensed commercial banks.
Licensed commercial bank. Are you sure?
26.
No, not that, not that. Altogether, how many all banks in Sri Lanka? Licensed banks. If I put it, the banks in Sri Lanka, licensed banks can be divided into 2 specialized licensed banks, specialized savings banks, and specialized commercial banks, right? So both together, how many licensed banks in Sri Lanka? I think you may learn all these things. No, not yet. Okay, so let's look at it. Right, what is the industry is growing? Get an idea about your competitor environment. Right? Okay, let's look at it now. So these are the players now in your organization, financial institution. You have a central bank, finance companies, leasing companies, private deals. These are the players in the market. Right? From that, who are the players in the market? We call, what is the percent asset base? The first quarter, I think it is 26.5, right? Now, if you really look at it, I show you. So these are the licensed banks. How many are there altogether there? You can compare them. All right. So we have 2 large commercial banks, and we have 5 domestic private bank. Sorry, yeah, and then we have some altogether. We have 12, in fact, private banks, and we have 11 foreign banks. Like that, we had around 30 odds at the moment. 30 banks, licensed bank in Sri Lanka. We have a 6 licensed specialized bank. Now, do you know this year's question? I have the questions with me. It's not under VR. You have to supposed to learn. One of your first question in your exam. First question number 7. Name 2 licensed specialized bank in Sri Lanka. Name 2 specialized bank in Sri Lanka. One question answer. What are the
NSB, SDB.
Yeah, but you have other 6 also, right? NSB, SMIB, SDB, RDB, HDFC, SLS Bank. I will talk about earlier, last year, we had, not last
SLS
year.
Sri Lanka Savings Bank.
Yes, Sri Lanka Savings. Now I will tell you, somebody can tell, it was taken over by a National Savings Bank. No? Now, before that, I will explain to you. I want to explain that under merging and acquisition, but I will explain to you. Now, earlier we had 7 licensed specialized banks. What is the bank is missing here? One bank is missing. Can anyone now? You may forget now that bank. We had a bank. Maybe 3 years ago, we had another bank here under specialized bank. Licensed specialized bank. What is that bank? No more here. Can anybody tell me what is the bank was there under licensed specialized bank? Maybe 2-3 years ago. Famous bank. Lankave Putek.
Lankaputra.
Lankaputra. Now where is that? It's no more. Where has gone to? What happened to that?
Merge with Sri Lanka Savings Bank.
No. Now, okay, doesn't matter. Now, Puta, when you are using word as a banker, you have to be very careful. I will tell you because since we have not learned, no, right? There is a different meaning of merging and acquisition. Right? Now, I will, during that time also, I will explain to you. Now, I will recall something with you. What is former Cinema Bandaranayaka's daughter's name, full name? What is the Mrs. Chandrika's full name? I just try to help you, right? What is Chandrika's full name?
Rattatte Bandaranayaka.
ඒක නෙවෙයි. දැන් කියන්නේ කොහොම කියලාද? ඔයා මුල් නමට කිව්වේ. දැන් අපි කියන්නේ කොහොමද? චන්ද්‍රිකාව අපි ඒ කාලේ හැදින්නේ කොහොමද?
Kumaranthunga, Chandrika Kumar.
නෑ. චන්ද්‍රිකා බණ්ඩාරනායක කුමාරතුංග. නේද? Right?
Yes.
Okay. දැන් සාමාන්‍ය ඔයාගේ wife ඔයා හඳුන්වන්නේ කොහොමද? ඔයා I don't know whether you are married. So wife surname get eroded, no? Put your name, husband name, usually, right? That is acquisition. Now merging means both equal size, right? That is why it is Chandrika Bandaranayaka Kumarsunga. දෙන්නම එක size දෙක. That is merging. Two big companies joined together, we call merging. If a small company acquired by another company, we call them as an acquisition. So what happened to Lankaputra? Lankaputra was taken over with the government instruction, by who out of this? Which bank taken over the Lankaputra?
Sri Lanka Savings Bank.
No, Putra, no.
RDB.
RDB was taken over by Lankaputra. So therefore, there is no Lankaputra here. But a fantastic thing happened here. Like Lankaputra Development Bank, SLS Bank is taken over by who?
NSB.
Then Lankaputra Development Bank was taken over by RDB. So the licensed specialized bank category, it was disappear. But why not here? I mean, these are the things you need to know. Why? Then you can see SL is here under separate licensed specialized bank. Even though the NSB has taken over, but name is there. Whereas the Lankaputra, no more there. Why? What is the reason?
Acquisition.
Yeah, acquisition, correct. But then of course there won't be SLS bank, no. Right. Okay, that's a technical thing, right? Okay, now NSB is the owner of the SLS bank. So therefore, NSB don't want now. Remember this. These are the some of the things you need to know. SLS bank was originated from what?
Pramukha.
Pramukha. Good, Pramukha. Right. Now, SLS bank originated from the Pramukha. So not like now RDB and National Service Bank. You take for an example, right? RDB has more power, can do lot of businesses than NSB. NSB is a purely a savings bank, but RDB can do. NSB can't do leasing and things like that, right? But RDB can do leasing, project lend, small other, the pledge loans and all sort of things they can do as SLS bank, right? Now NSB don't want to. Once you take over the LS bank to the NSB, SLS banks come under the purview of what? NSB Act. So NSB want to have more to do more businesses by remain SLS bank as a separate bank, but under their authority, under their ownership. That is why, because it's basically act as a subsidiary for NSB, even though they have taken. Right? Understood, no? So then the moment SLS not absorbed to the NSB, employees of SLS bank can't enjoy the same benefit the NSB bank employees is taking. So that's a union issue, right? But NSB want to work SLS bank as a separate entity, because through the SLS bank, NSB can do a lot of business activity where NSB itself can't do. Right? Okay, that is something which is not in your syllabus, but that is exam asked from you in your exam paper. There's definitely a one question, right? Definitely a one questions about something like that type of bank, right? The last year they asked you, okay, what is the foreign banks? I can remember 1 year asked, what is the foreign banks not do operation in Sri Lanka? They are.
ICICI Bank.
There's another bank now. If the same question asked now, what is the two banks were not operating in Sri Lanka?
Axis Bank.
Axis Bank. Good. Right. Very good. Right. Okay. Then, so all other banks, now these are the players, no? Understood? This is your players, right? Who compete with so you need to understand all these information. So what Michael Porter is telling you, right? You need to understand who are your direct competitor. Now, as far as the commercial banks is concerned, who is your direct competitors? All other commercial banks, right? From Bank of Ceylon. NSB, yes, but they are different way, but they also compete with you. Who are the other players in the market who may compete with you? Not the banks.
Finance companies.
For how many finance companies in Sri Lanka? Like these are the things you have to learn, right? There are around 39 odds. Then 38 one Singaputra was temporarily suspended, but they are not fully suspended. And then who is the other player apart from licensed bank who under control by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka?
Microfinance companies and leasing companies.
Yeah, okay. Leasing. How many leasing companies in Sri Lanka?
2 or 3, no?
Three. How many microfinance companies in Sri Lanka registered? Four licensed companies, right? How many primary dealers in Sri Lanka? What is the primary dealer was recently withdrawn from the license? I mean, it is
Perpetual
not
treasuries.
No. Those are Puta temporary taken action by the central bank as a regulator. But one finance company, fresh primary dealer, themselves move out from the businesses. What is that company?
Net wealth.
Net wealth. Very good, very good. These are the things the examiner will ask from you, right? There are some restrictions now. Perpetual treasuries, Pan Asia Bank, and there are some. They have forced restriction by the regulator. But one company they out from the businesses. That is uh, net worth company. So you need to understand, Putha, right? I think you have learned under the financial institution. Okay, in my case, I have just explained to you to understand your present support to what support for this, right? Support for your what you call this rivalry among existing firms, right? That is what is the banking, how Sri Lankan banks were basically, say for an example, are categorized based on the asset, right? Asset base. Sri Lankan banks at the moment are still divided into three as a large, medium, and small. Above 500 we call large bank. 200 to 500 is medium bank. 100 to 200 is basically we call them as small bank. In Sri Lanka, we had about 2 trillion, close to 1 Bank of Ceylon, and 1 to 2 trillion we have 5 banks, and 5 to 1 trillion you have 3 banks. Like that, we have 5 medium banks, and the large 16, of course, small banks less than 100 billion, right? So this is how Sri Lankan banks are categorized based on the size, based on the asset, right? So for that also, I just give you a food for thought, right? And what is the total banking asset in Sri Lanka as at today, roughly? What is asset-based Sri Lankan banks? Anybody? It's around 15 point, to my knowledge, 85 or 86 trillion, right? What is the total asset base in the financial sector? Here I have the 26.5 asset first quarter, but now second quarter is come to around 27.5 or 8, something like that, right? So that is a total financial sector that is contributing for EPF, central bank, insurance, licensed banks. Of course, licensed banks contributing around 62 to 63% of the total asset base in Sri Lanka, right? Okay, finance companies has last year is 8%. Now it has come to 6%. So their asset base has come down due to various reasons. Okay, so we had around 41 companies. There are, of course, 41 now is 39 because 2 banks have not there. What is that? Two banks, Swarna Mahal and ETI now 39. 39 out of that also, leasing now 4, right? Not 3, 4. These one Swarnaputra, Singaputra was temporary suspended. Okay, so this is how your banks are growing. Banking sector is growing. These your loan portfolio, deposit portfolio. So you need to understand, right? If you really look at it, your 30 or 6 figures, average deposit borrowing ratio. See whether which bank you are. See your average deposit borrowing ratio, cost to income ratio, and the yellow is the industry. Look at it where you fall. So Sampath, cost to income ratio is very high, very good, like HNB and other banks as well. Net interest margin, right? Look at it, that's industry and things like that. And this is your basically cost to income ratio of profit up to now the third quarter, how much of profit you have generated, right? If you look at the total asset, 1.4 NSB, 3.3 BOC, 2.4 PB, Sampath 1.1 trillion, commercial 1.9, HNB 1.3, Ceylan 575, NDB 663, 361 by NTB. So that means, so lot of banks moving to D500. So central bank now they need to change their classification, whether 500 to 1 million, 1 trillion or so. That's still not done. Okay, this is something I just forward for you to understand. Okay, right. So why I gave all these things for you to understand what is your present this thing. So why you need to know all these things? Why it is play an important role? For that you need to understand your present position. And then you look at the next one, the threat of new entrants. Who are the new banks going to come into the scene? ළඟදී පේන්න නම් එකක් නෑ නේද? So no
China
bank.
Bank came recently.
Nah, they came. They have already there. They have already there. Good. Maybe 2-3 years ago, there's a threat of new entrants. Now, because now remember the China Bank of China not doing in a full scale, right? Suppose they move into the full scale, my goodness, we are finished. They are the number. China Bank of China world rank. What is the stage? World ranking. What is the big bank in the world? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 4 are goes to China. 10 years ago or 6 years ago, all 4 banks are which
American.
from where? American.
America.
All have now come to 7, 8 positions. 4 construction bank, I think Bank of China is in number 3. World, imagine, right? Now see how everything was changing based on the asset, right? Based on the asset, I think China Construction Bank is around something around 4 trillion US dollars or something, to my knowledge, right? Okay, so you need to understand something. So suppose another construction China bank is coming to Sri Lanka. My goodness, another challenge to my bank. Say, if you do analysis, suppose you are a Sampat. Oh, suppose you take an example for you are Bank of Ceylon, will you? Now, Bank of Ceylon want to do a strategic planning. They want to analyze your present position as far as the Michael Porter's example, right? I just take an example. Then take the Bank of Ceylon. What banks they need to worry? They need to worry about commercial banks. They need to worry about Sampat. They need to worry about the People's Bank, HNB, right? Other private bank. They are trying to, get some market from you. The only advantage of Bank of Ceylon is what? Because they have petrol, LCs and things like that. So those are government things. They are getting more revenue. Otherwise, big problem, right? Okay, so if suppose another new commercial bank going to come, right? Take example of Sampat. I think better rather than taking the government bank, Sampat Bank. So who are the people who compete with him? HNB is coming behind, and NTB is also coming, NDB also coming, commercial also anyhow fighting for their shares. Okay, so now understand, right? How important to find it out. Suppose top of that there's another bank is coming, right? What is the impact from that? I just tell you about the industry analysis, right? Okay, then you look at the power of buyers, our customers. Now customers are sophisticated now. They want more technical products, right? So the finance market is growing, right? So they demanding, they sophisticated, otherwise they move to another bank. The industry, we look at what type of industry we are here. There are many players in the market. What is offer they are getting? What is the switching cost? How you prevent that moving from one customer from my bank to another bank? So cost, make it, your switching cost is high. What do you mean by a switching cost high? You have all your housing loan, your salary come to this bank, you are taken personal loan this bank, all things are this bank. You can't go to another bank. Right? Okay. Right. Now, what is the switching? What is the difference between laugh gas versus litro gas? Because their switching cost is high. What do you mean by switching cost? You can't just go to laugh gas. No. If you are a litro gas owner, cylinder owner, you can't just go to the laugh. Now, during that shortage time, what happened to those laugh gas owners, cylinder owners? They can't switch into the litro. Why? Because what is the cost? Cylinder cost, right? Because if you give last switching laugh gas and take the litro gas, no problem. Like beer bottles. Now beer, bottles are manufactured by different, no, but any beer bottle accepted by trader, no, but not like all these things. That is the switching cost high. Okay, just I talk little more. Right, then bargain power of suppliers. Who are your suppliers? Now remember, customer is the both side. He deposits and they withdraw. So they are sitting in the both side of your value chain. So customer play an important role. Apart from that, other suppliers who mobile providers, software packages come up with new software things. Bank need to take these packages, otherwise you're out from the business. Mobile companies, they come up with lot of software application. Are we ready to accept that? Right? So we need to look at it, all these factors. Then another factor is threat of substitute. What is this? How the fintech companies are coming. Now think about the mobile companies, Dialog, Mcash, EasyCash. Then the fintech companies are coming with open banking. Fintech companies are evolving the world. It's a big competition to ours. And then the share market, stock market, we talk about. Other market like unit trust market. And also we look at it from during these days, what is the gold market? So those are our substitutes. Okay, now you understand how your organization face with other factors. Right? Clear? Right? I think now you have a clear understanding about your present position. So that means, where are we? Where are you now? Clear now? Any questions, Puta? Right?
So
Clear
what is fintech companies mean?
Financial technology companies, Puta. Like now, the people, the individual companies come up with lot of banking solutions. Right now, take for example, Dialog. Right now, they're offering, they're also involving in financial business now. Right? Finance, fintech means
Paymaster app also by a fintech company.
Yeah,
There are a lot of apps.
Yeah, lot of apps are coming up. Not in Sri Lanka. That is why, have you heard about the Standbox? Fintech Standbox? Central Bank has given permission to
Fintech means financial technology company.
companies right now. I mean, for those fintech Standbox, I mean, the central bank has given finance companies, I mean, the fintech company to do their banking or financial businesses with a limited regulatory framework. right? To do some activities. That is what you call sandbox, right? So I think you may need to learn under IABF all these things, something, right? Okay. So fintechs is financial technology companies, Buddha, right? Okay.
Thank
Right.
you, sir.
Okay. So I think if you want, I have already completed, but then I have been IABF clients management. If you can look at it last week, yeah, 2 weeks back, my notes, it's a recorded version, so you can get a lot of ideas about what is fintechs, what are the good things, what is open banking, what is all things I have explained to them, right? Okay. Now, are you clear now, right? So what we learn here, Buddha, we learn here, right? Now we spend a lot of time. What is this? Situational analysis. So situational analysis, we did internal, external. What are the techniques for internal? What are the techniques we learned for external? External, we just learned Pestel and Michael Porter's 5 forces analysis, right? Okay. Now what we are going to discuss, having understood where are we now, now we are going to discuss in our strategy plan, where do we want to be by next 3 years time from my present position. That is, we talk about all the things, right? Okay, understood? Right. Now let me explain what is the first thing we need to know. We need to learn about vision, right? Now vision is set out what the organization want to accomplish in the future, right? And it's give you a direction your organization to go. And good vision statement, is something aspirational and inspirational. It tells you what direction you need to go, right? Okay. Now you may recall all these things. Now, are you remember your vision statement? Tell me honestly. You remember? I just quoted some vision statement in your bank. Tell me whether it has changed or not, right? Bankers to the nation. That is what they are saying. BOC. What People's Bank is telling? Haridha, to be the bank for the aspiring people of Sri Lanka. Right. Then HNB to be the acknowledged leader. Commercial, I think now they have changed. I don't know. I have took it recently to be the bank of excellency, service and commitments. Anybody who follow commercial banks? Any student from commercial bank? No. This is one your vision or this is your vision? When I took today, so your vision has this, but I have the vision like this. Have you changed your vision? Vision can be changed, right? Not every day, right? Usually take some times, right? Now these are some of the visions. Sampath, the growing force in Sri Lankan financial services. To be the bank excellence in service and commitment. This is the earlier one, I suppose. To be the acknowledged leader and chosen partner in providing financial solution through the inspired people. Now, why I caught these things, right? To be the Sri Lanka leading financial service provider, recognized by all stakeholders, CELAN, the driving force for a financially empowered Sri Lanka. The most reliable and sought after choice for savings and investment solution. Now, Pan Asia, to become the most customer preferred commercial bank in Sri Lanka. DFCC, to be the leading financial solution provider, right? So, what all these are talking about? They said the organization want to be achieved, right? They talk about organization want to be achieved. Right? Clear now? So what is the vision? It's give you a direction. It's set out the organizations want to accomplish. If you read all these, they become the most customer preferred bank. Now look at, so they are most reliable sought after choice. All are telling the driving force of financial empowered Sri Lanka. Now you understood. No, all these vision statement, if I quoted, what they are telling, it give you directions. It tells you what you want to accomplish. Okay, so that's a visual statement. So why we need? Because it provides a framework within which the entire company to operate. Right? All the people has to go towards that. It allows the company to establish highest level of goals and formulate plans and necessary to achieve these goals. So therefore, vision is a foundation. It tells you to form other areas, plans, goals, right? So you must have a vision. Now, what is your immediate vision in that case? Right? Your vision, one want to be a, say, individual. I want to be a CEO or whoever, DGM or senior DGM in a particular your own bank. That is your vision. So for that, you plan everything. All the activities, if you want to go up the ladder in your banking career, that is your vision. I want to be a CEO, at least end up with senior DGM or DGM or AGM. That is your vision. So that is your direction. So you do everything to do that. Now, why you are studying banking? Some people may fall only for promotion, but still, so that's a direction. That is your final destination. Right? Okay. So therefore, clear visions provide foundation of developing the next steps. That is vision statement. Right? Okay. Now let's look at it, the vision statement. I think, unfortunately, all these things are in your handouts, in your bank. I don't know how many of you are remember mission and vision and values. Right? But where you can see your mission, vision, values most of the time? Where you can see your vision and missions? Can anybody tell me which places you can see your bank, vision, missions and values? වැඩිපුරම දකින්න හම්බෙන්නේ කොහෙද?
A corporate website and the
Yeah.
branch premises.
Yeah. Oh, where is?
Branch premises.
Yeah, okay, where is? තව කොහෙද දැක්වලා තියෙනවා මේක?
Corporate website.
Yeah, of course, yes. තව? Where you can see?
Balance sheet.
Not
Annual report.
Annual report. No. Where is? තව තැනක් තියෙනවා. කැරිකල වැලුවොත් එහෙම head office ගියාම එහෙමත් තියෙනවා. වැඩිපුරම තියෙනවා.
Training center.
Training center. Very good. හැබැයි කොහෙද නැත්තේ?
හිතේ.
හිතේ නෑ. That is why. Because who is going to implement these things? Who is going to implement these things? These are the things need to be implemented by you. Sometimes, as to popularize the vision and missions today, what happened? What is the strategy you can use it? Now, suppose if an examiner asks from you questions like this, right? Since you want to emphasize or to get the support from each and every employee, right, of the organization to get aware about your bank vision and mission and values. Tell me 3 actions you can suggest to the management. It's a real practical question, right? Suppose the examiner asks from you a mission and mission play and what is mission, they will ask you what is mission and vision. Okay, then they ask you, in order to popularize or in order to create awareness about vision, missions, and values about your organization among all employees. What are the steps or what are the strategies or what are the tactics you use for that purpose? It's a practical question. Tell me what you can do. I was thinking you are a strategic manager. Tell me now how you going to. Okay, you are a manager of a branch, for example. How you get familiarize your mission among your staff?
Putting the desktop of the machines.
Yeah, one very creative one. The moment you open, every time your machine, you can see vision and mission. Okay, දාන පාරෝක තිබ්බම අඩු ගානේ කෑල්ලක් කර මතක් වෙනවා. Now you can remember when you were at A levels. I don't know what we have done. I don't know about you all. Right? අපේ කාමරේවයි washroom එකේ හැමතැනම ඉස්සර පොඩි කාලේ මොනවද තිබුණේ? If you did your science, මොනවද අපේ තිබුණේ? හැම ඇද ගාවල් විභාග කාලේ මොනවද තිබුණේ?
ආවර්තතාව බොහෝ
එක පැත්තකින් තියෙන ආවර්තතාවගු. එයා බයෝ කරනකොට එක පැත්තකින් ඇසුයි කණුයි ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා. right? අය හැමතිස්සෙම ගියාම ඔක පේනවා. right? So one thing is correctly. So the moment your desktop, the moment you open, you see the vision. Good suggestion. Second one, and this is maybe something practical, right? Second one. What do you think the second one? What do you think the second one is most important? When you have the exams, you interview promotions at the interview board, right? And ask, what is the vision? අපට ඔය මැසේජ් එක යනවනේ. ඊට පස්සේ විභාග ලියනකොට හරි වයි කේදී හරි ඉන්ටර්වියු එකේදී හරි කට පාඩම් කරගෙන යනවා මිෂන් නේ. එතකොට නිකම්ම මතක් කියලා. දැන් අපිට උදාහරණයක් කියන්නකෝ අපි ස්කූල් සෝං එක තාම මතකයිනේ. තාම මතකයි. ජය අපේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා මාතා දාම මතකයිනේ. නේද? ඒ වගේ ඒක නිකම්ම මතක් කියලා. හැම පාරම විභාගයේදී එක්සාම් එකේදී එහෙම නැත්නම් ඉන්ටර්වියු එකේදී ඊළඟ ප්‍රොමෝෂන් එකේදී අහනවා ගෝ මේක go spread. then පාඩම් කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ නිකම්ම එක පැත්තකට යනවා. Okay, these are some of the strategies you can use as a manager. Also, you can ask, and that is because who need to drive this one is you all. Okay, right now coming back, what is mission then? Mission is the purpose of your organization. All right, purpose of your organization. Now, remember, actually, the mission is a reality. Vision is something aspirational. Very broad, right? Mission is your day-to-day activity. Very narrow. It tells you what type of business you are in, right? What your organization be there to achieve your vision. So remember important thing, once you read any organization mission, you know what business they are in, right? Okay, now I will, so what are the components of a mission statement? What are the components? What should be incorporate to your mission statement? Now remember, now a lot of people are thinking vision, mission are passion words. No, it's given a lot of meanings. What are the components of a mission statement? It has to be talk about your customers. It need to be talk about your products and services. It talk about your market. What are the type of customers you are catering to? What type of product and services you are offering to? What type of markets you are serving? What is the type of technology you are using? Then you are okay. What are your survival for surviving or growth or profitability? Surviving means මේ තත්ත්වෙම යන්න. වැඩි වෙනවද profit ගන්නද? What are your philosophy? your beliefs, values, and aspirations. What is your main competitive edge? What is your image as far as the environmental community, and how you concern your employees? Are you considered your employees as a valuable assets? Right? So these are the 9 common components. When you articulate your mission statement, you need to incorporate it. Right? Okay. Now, let me take one example. We'll take HNB, will you? Rather than talking everybody. Right. Now, you look at it, whether these 9 components have been incorporated to your mission. Now, we discussed, no, at least you need to have a certain element into your mission statement. These 9 components, at least many components need to be incorporated. Right? We'll take easy one. Right? We'll take Sampath. Okay. Right? We'll take HNB for that matter. Right? Mission. Combining entrepreneurial spirit with empowered people. Now, they concerned about your employees, empowered people, and leading age technology. You are using the most modern technology. Sampath is talking about cutting edge technology. Art of technology, all are new technology. Leading edge of technology means you are using the technology. Constantly exceed stakeholder expectations. Who are stakeholders? Customers, right? You provided a lot of facilities to customers, right? Okay, look at it some more. I will take commercial. I think it's ideal one to explain. Okay, right. Now tell me the commercial. Providing reliable, innovative, customer-friendly financial services. They talk about type of customers. What are the type of customers? Finance customers. What is the product? Financial products. Using cutting edge technology. What is the technology they use? The modern technology. What is the focusing? Continuously improve the productivity. Right? Then, whilst developing our staff, concerned about employees, acquiring necessary expertise to expand local and regionally. That is your market. Now, look at the mission statement of commercial bank. They talk about majority of these 5 characters or components of a strategy for mission statement, right? Right. So, if you want to prepare a good statement of about the banks, so you need to incorporate all. We provide our customers with financial services. Look at the sailor that meet their needs and time value, pricing, delivery, and services. Reward for their results orientation. We ensure our efforts translate to meeting the expectation of our shareholders, whilst always acting responsible corporate citizens. Right? So these are some of the points I just want to highlight. Right. Okay. Right. Now, what's the answer for this? This is your 2019 September paper. Okay, what is the answer? Which of the following provides the answer for the question not? Where does the organization aspire to be in the future? What is it? Suppose this is your exam paper, September 2019. If this question comes, what is the correct answer? Come on. What is the correct answer? Are you with me, no? Dilan?
A vision statement.
Vision statement. Good. Right? I hope others also follow, right? Vision statement. Exactly. You see, two words. Very simple. Okay, now we move into the another thing. Earlier, remember earlier, these values also inbuilt to the mission statement. Mission statement. But later on, people have realized value play an important role in the business. So therefore, they have taken out from the mission statement. Lot of organization they came up with separately address the values. That is corporate values because people pay more attention organization who give values, right? And it is a shared values also influence everything an organization does. And again, values may be expressed in terms of beliefs, guidelines, rules, right? And set out in code of conduct. So when you're carried out your businesses, we always behave in such a manner, or we adapt very fair and a very transparent manner, right? And it has to be embodied with all the employees. That is why values play an important role. Now, some finance companies, you noted that a lot of TV advertisement you have watched. Sometimes they talk about values, right? Even හදුකූරු කම්පැනිසුත් value දෙනවනේ. අර සුවඳ හමාගෙන එනවා. ඇවිල්ලා අහනවා මම දැක්කේ නෑ ඔයා. බලන් ගියාම value. ඇයි? එයා උදව්වක් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ උදව්වට ගෙදරට එන්නේ හදුකූරු සුවඳේ ගෙල්ලේ. සමහර අය යනවා දාඩිය දාගෙන ගියාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? කූල් වතුර එකක් දෙනවා බොන්න කියලා. සමහර අය කිරි අරගෙන යනකොට කාර් එකේ දාගෙන යනවා. සමහර අය දෙමාපියන්ට වදිනවා. වදිනකොට අම්මා ඉන්නවා එහා පැත්තේ. එයාටත් වදිනවා. So people are talk about what? Values. So they want to communicate. When you are delivering our solutions or our marketing or our offers to customers, we always consider of values. We always try to add values to our products. People today is concerned the values are deteriorating. So we want to improve the values. So people trust and try to take more businesses. The organization will give high values. That is why organization play and values as a separate statement. Now look at it what NDB is talking about. What is value? We always serve you integrity. We always consider creativity. We always try to do excellence. We always try to do sincerity. We are everything we do, we take accountability like that. Right? What is DFCC? Always innovative, always customer centric, always be professional, ethical, handling, right? Team oriented, social responsible, H&B, treasure professional service, integrity all of times. We are committed to do a customer centric. What is Apple? Apple also give you something like, right? Sampath, create learning culture. We promote individual and organization development. Central Bank, likewise, Sony, I've just give you some world telecom, customer caring, trustworthy, right? What is basically talk about? They talk about we are trying to give something to customers, right? Now you noted that these are the three important statements. You need to look at it. Okay, where are my organizations going to be? right? Where my organization is going to be. What are the three statements? Vision, mission, and the goals. Okay, right. My next question, write down. What is the difference between mission and vision? Now I have you two things to next week. Right? We discuss what is pestle against salt. Now, mission and missions, differences. Okay, next question. Remember me to answer mission and vision. Right? Okay. So, first one, vision, then the mission. So, in between, you have value. From there, where now we are going to? Is going to be a goals. Now we are going to look at it, the goal. You are going to set the goal where your organization is going to be. This is my direction, vision. This is my all businesses. What are the purpose of my organization? So what is the goal? So once you understood the mission should be expressed in clear and specific, fairly long-term financial and financial goals. Right? So min-specs in the scientific a defined goal as the intention behind an organizational decision or action. From missions, and now we are moving to more goals. Right? Okay. So next, what is next step? From goals to objectives. Goals may be very broad, but objective is a very specific. How we are going to achieve set long-term goals further expressed in a clear, specific, measurable, medium term, short term. That is objective, right? So objectives have special characteristics. Objectives have special characteristics, right? Like this. Okay. What is objective? Clearly express. That is smart. You can't say improve performance. It is too vague. To be a smart objective, very specific objective, it clearly specified. Improving operating profit, improving market share, very specific. Improving operating, you can is very specific. Then measurables. Objective should be measurable. You can't say improve image, but we don't know how much. We have to tell. Increasing operating profits by 20%. Improve market share by 1% or 2%. Oh, keeping my existing market share is also measurable. Improve image, we don't know how much. It should be measurable. Then it should be achievable. Now say improve operating profit 80% of turnover. You cannot achieve. Say I'm going to improve my market share next 3 years 25%. Can you achieve? You cannot. You can achieve if no other people are in the market. So it should be achievable target. Some realistic target. Objective should be. Okay, I will say I'm going to achieve market share by 3-4%. Yes. Achievable. And it should be relevant. And it should be linked to the overall goals of the business. Right? How I'm going to achieve my market share? By keeping my existing retention of 5%. Increasing customer satisfaction is not relevant. How am I going to improve my market share? By increasing customer satisfaction. No, then you have to say increasing the satisfaction level at least 10% or 15% or 20% or something like. Then it should be relevant. And most important, it's a time bound. When are you going to achieve your target? Improve my market share. You can't say. I have to tell them, okay, from 20, now is 2021. In 2024, I am going to increase my market share by 5% in December 2023 or 4. Very specific. So those are the characteristics of objectives, right? Okay, then next one, objective perform a number of functions. You need to remember prime. Objective facilitate for you to planning. Strategy plan must have objective for planning purpose. What is my I'm going to achieve? How much? What is my market share? Then they talk about the responsibility. Who is responsible to this? Branch, marketing, right? Different areas, clearly given responsibilities, they know their roles. And we discuss strategy planning is an integrations. You cannot do one. It is a cross-functional decision. Remember the definition. Then plan strategic, the objective must be motivated, challenging, dynamic, achievable. Motivated. If you achieve, they will rewarded be. They give you some sort of a bonuses or whatever. And objectives can be used as a evaluation. Then how do you know whether we achieve? Our plan is successful or not? That we have objective. Okay, 5% market share. Now we look at it end of the period. How much we achieve? 1%? We achieve 10%. Against what? Our objective. So therefore, objective provide the evaluation functions as well. Right? So objectives therefore performs like this. Okay? Right, this is the time pass. I will stop at this. Now what we discuss today, where are we now? There are some more things to be learned, right? What are the areas we can set objectives and policies and discuss? Okay. Then next week we will touch the balance part of this. Right now, what we discussed today, where are we now? Where are we want to be? Some more areas to be covered, right? Then comes the length area. You know where are now, how to go, what are your future targets and goals? Most problem, how to be there, what are our strategies? Okay, so we will discuss all these things in the next couple of weeks, and then we will commence. And now you have 2 homework. Compare SWOT and PESTEL, vision and mission. Okay.